Assalamualaikum. Today we all will discuss about Shin Gojira film review that caused the destruction at Japan. So I will introduce my group member. First, my name Nurin binti Muhammad Zaidi.
My name is Muhammad Afiq.
My name is Azman.
And my name is Nisya binti Zulkifli.
Okay, the first issue is that we can see is the minister more words than action. It's not suitable with the idiom that say action speaks louder than words. Although the several car are trapped at the tunnel, the minister meeting is still going on. There are a lot of suggestion, but there is no action is taken. For example, they want to exterminate that monster using weapon, but they don't think what will happen if they use weapon. What that can cause the economic loss and the people. Yes, it's true. Majority of ministers are voting to exterminate that creature, but they are not thinking outside the box. What will happen to the people? Like I said before. Next, another example is when Ministry of Defence thought that we never use self-defense forces using weapon in Tokyo Bay, and one of the minister asked, cannot we just chase that monster? As a minister, we should not talk like that because that's such a nonsense word. Okay, so that's my point. So what do you think, Mr. Azman?
Okay, thank you, Miss Tisha. Okay, about the about the point. The point more word than action. Okay, I think the point is very correct. As we can see, there's a more meeting than the action that they have done. So I think this is about 3 meeting. Action is only a few. We can see in the movie.
Thank you, Mr. Azman. So the next issue that we can see in the movie is the minister are objecting others' opinion. This problem we can see when at conference room when Yaguchi talked the presence of large marine cause as large marine creature as a possible cause. But unfortunately, his opinion are rejected directly by the minister without as further information. They also asked a lady from Deputy Chief Ministry Environment that to give her theory based on her knowledge about the monster. The lady gave the info that the monster is possible to come to the land because the monster have a leg. But there is an expert say instead from that because the leg is not used for long. Then maybe the leg is degenerate. So here there are two different information. Automatically, the info that given by the deputy chief is objecting, because the minister are more based to an expert than the theory. Okay. So what do you think, Mr. Bong?
Thank you, Miss Nurin. And I think that in this movie, all the other ministries such as Minister of Defense and Minister of Environment, they like to objecting the others' opinion because they have open-minded, and they always think that they are only the best person in that country in order to solve the crisis.
Okay, thank you for your brilliant point of view, Mr. Bong. So my third problem, what can I say, is different opinion by professional skill. at every organization there is must have a few of profession that expert at on the specific thing. Because when we have the profession specific thing at the organization, people will more trust at them rather than junior that don't have anything specialized. At the emergency or critical problem, we should not think our position or our scope. We just can give what are logic on our mind. But this is not this is happen at the film. When Yaguchi said that there is something on the sea floor, but the Minister of Internal Affairs ignored it, denied what the Yaguchi talked. What can I say? This situation is more clearly when Minister of Science said that the problem might arise from volcanic and thermal vent under sea. Again, Yaguchi has proved that there is no vent above the tunnel because geological have done their survey and research. So I think everyone without a word specialist or out of their scope also can give their opinion. Yaguchi has proved that their thing orthodox taking away. Okay, thank you. So Miss Nisha, what your opinion?
Okay, thank you, Miss Nurin. I absolutely agree with your point. What can I say? Professional skill is quite important in one organization to conduct the country. Okay, such as Prime Minister should take his professional profession to take an action before others ministry take their action to prevent any happen to the citizen. Okay, so I will pass to you for the next solution.
Next, the problem that we can see in this movie is not the monster itself, it is the problem on the cabinet of the Japanese. And the crucial problem that can be seen through this movie is the seniority. This can be clearly seen when the arrangement of the seat in the cabinet. The senior is at the front row alongside with the Prime Minister, meanwhile all the juniors are at the back row. This shows that the gap of age and position had created the barrier between them and senior and junior in the cabinet. And in this movie, the junior had to agree all with decision made by senior, and they have to do nothing but to obey all that senior's instruction. What do you think?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bong. I'm agree with your point of view. As we can see, yes, there is a gap between junior and senior in a meeting. For example, positioning of place in room meeting, and junior have zero chance to make opinion or give their own opinion or give decision, and share info for senior. In organization, we should have collaboration each other, so the problem that arise will settle asap, because two head is better than one head. Okay, so that's my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Nurin. Besides that, the seniority can be clearly seen in this movie when the senior don't want to agree with the junior's opinion. And in Japanese tradition, the junior can interfere with the senior in every matter, and the junior have to make sure that they don't step over the line. And for seniors, the junior's opinion and idea cannot be objected. And when the junior is trying to give their own opinion, they will be called as a rebel. And instead of that, the senior threatened them to don't mess things up and stay watch over the line. And this will create the barrier between them, because the junior can have the chance to give their best to in order to help to solve the crisis, but they only have to stay put and zip up their mouth. And how about that, Mr. Azman? What do you think?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bong. Okay, About the point, don't want to accept junior idea. I think is very correct. Correct. Because although the junior know how to use the new technology, they are more professional to use it. But the seniors cannot accept the junior idea because they think they are more professional than them.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Azman. And to encounter this crisis, the senior have to cooperate with the junior because of their fresh idea and relevant idea, right? And then it can be seen in this movie where the junior said that probably the attack is from the attack is not a normal earthquake or an eruption from the volcano. Instead, it is from a colossal creature where there is an identity that can be seen on the video at the online footage, and it is because that the junior are the younger generation where they know how to manipulate the new technology. Meanwhile, the senior are the older generation where they can adapt with the new technology properly. And nevertheless, the senior say that the online footage can be reliable. And what do you think, Miss Nisya?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bong. I agree with your point. But what I can just say that junior is not too child to the organization, right? Because junior have to work with the senior. Senior have to take idea, to take an opinion from the junior. Same with this movie, like Yakuzi give his point, his opinion about this crisis. So why not the senior just consider or take an action, or maybe consider that opinion to maybe it will can solve the problem. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Nisha. And in my opinion, the seniority in the cabinet should not be existed because it only bring the problem among them. And plus, seniority is only show an immaturity way of thinking and unprofessionalism. The senior and junior have to cooperate in order to go through every hurdles and problem. And the senior can contribute with their experience in this life, and the junior can contribute with their fresh and contemporary idea. And that's from me, only from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bong. Okay, about my point is about gender bias. Okay, but first one is about different treatment based on the gender. As we can see in the movie, they might see women cannot be handle the bad situations, so they give a bad treatment to them. Okay, as we can see the movie, the woman that is the deputy chief of environment, she been portrayed in the movie, were very calm at handle at every situation. Okay, as we can see, she also give a lot of information that help to help the government to overcome the situation. Okay, how you think about my point about the different treatment based on the gender? Nisha.
Thank you, Mr. Azman. Okay, I agree with your point. Okay, to what I think that we cannot compare the gender between female and male because their own idea is different. Maybe we can take their ideas, the brilliant ideas. Maybe it is compared to the male is the good one. So we cannot judge the woman cannot make any decision to solve any problem. So that's all for my point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Nisha, about your point, your explanation about the point. Okay, the second one is about the cabinet does not listen to the woman opinion, although it is a very precise information. Okay, in the movie, we can see that many of people don't trust the given information by the woman by the woman that is named Harima. Okay, so when she give her opinion, the people only smirk at her. That is cynical, give a cynical smile because they thought that information is very ridiculous. She said that about the nuclear fusion that make the master become more hazardous. Okay, okay. How about you, Miss Nurin? About my point about does not listen woman opinion, although it's precise information.
Okay, thank you to Mr. Azman. Yes, Mr. Azman, I agree with you. Because we should listen to others' opinion, even though by a woman, because as we know, women also have a brain like men. Furthermore, women are more detailed when they do something. Just like our mom, she can do everything in one time. Just a woman so just thought when she think that the thing is true or needed. As we know, women are always making decision without thinking. But at this time, that girl give the true theory about the monster. So we should avoid the orthodox mindset that women cannot trust. That's my point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Nurin. Okay, about last point about the gender bias is about have a few number of women in the cabinet. As we can see, there's only two in the 2% in the cabinet that is a woman in the movie. So it showed that they don't trust women to get involved into the political issue. Okay, it also show that they have a bad prejudice toward women. Okay, they might thought that women cannot give a contribution to them. Okay, but the women in the cabinet still come and still contributing their professional skill. Okay, how about you, Mr. Bong?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Azman. And I agree with your point, which is that the girl participant in the cabinet in this movie can be count with the fingers, right? Only two of them, and it's majoritarily conquered by the men. And I think that they should give more chances to the female in order to participate in this cabinet, so that they will have a very opinion and idea in order to solve every problem of the country. Because women have a brain like a rainbow.
Okay, next one I will pass to Miss Nisha.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Azman. Okay, I will continue to my points. Okay, the first point is leadership crisis. One of the issue is one of the minister not believe the ability of his staff under environment ministry cause of the low ranking come up with the idea to address this issue, which is to identify the real creature will attack the Tokyo city. As you can see that Prime Minister and all the minister cannot accept the other people opinions. Sometimes we should accept the other people opinion even though she is in the low ranking. In the organization, low ranking and the high ranking is the same. Maybe they can give the more brilliant idea to solve the problem. Okay, what do you think with my point, Mr. Azman?
Okay, thank you, Miss Nisha. Okay, about the leadership crisis. Okay, the Prime Minister we can see in the movie is hesitate in making instruction that will make his leadership are doubted. Okay, the misstatement he made at the press conference also made the citizen lost their trust in their leader, which is Ministry itself. Okay, that's my point.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Azman. I will move to the next point. Another issue which arises in this movie is lack of charisma and decision making. The leadership and organization itself lack in making decision in order to solve the creature problem. We can clearly see that the Prime Minister cannot make his own decision in his hiding the evaporation process, and it took a long time for them to decide. And I want to quote one of the person from the MIC and MLIT said, "What takes too long and is nothing in the first responsible may not applies here." Okay, this quote referred to the evaporation process, and the MIC and MLIT cannot make any decision without the order from the Prime Minister, even though many places have been destroyed by the monster. It is really important to the Prime Minister to give his own judgment to solve the problem as a leadership in one organization. And I want to add that he cannot only depend or other ministry opinion. He also have to take a decision before any bad happen. What do you think, Miss Nurin?
Okay, thank you, Miss Nisha. But first, I'm sorry because I cannot agree with your point. I think Prime Minister have take all of consideration before making decision. As a Prime Minister, we should think about our citizen first because that is our priority. The Prime Minister need to think about the safety of citizen first. This is the reason why Prime Minister hold a press conference because he want to make the citizen calm and not do such nonsense thing when they know what actually happened at the outside. Even though all the organization itself don't know what type of the creature it is, they assume that the creature will not harm the people of Japan. The Prime Minister is give a positive vibe to others because he don't want the country that he managed destroy. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Nurin. Okay, I will move to the next point. It's about failure of controlling situation. Prime Minister and his cabinets cannot handle the emergency situation clearly, such in this movie. We can see that the Prime Minister and all the ministers can decide to address this issue. The organization is too passive, and even though the organization do the meeting at many times to get a good decision, it's such a waste of time because they still cannot come up with a better solution. So, what do you think, Mr. Bong?
Thank you, Miss Nisha. And I agree with your point. Japan government is still not ready to receive the Gojira attack from the Gojira, and they didn't have the suitable defenses system, and such as alarm system. Maybe they should put on the ocean so that they know where the danger came. And as a developed country, they should analyze all the possibility and that could happen in the country, and unfortunately they don't have that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bong. Okay, I will pass to the Miss Nurin. Thank you.
Okay, as a conclusion, Japan is a developed country, so they should have a proper organization to manage their country. In order to solve every problem must be solved in quick pace. Everyone should play their own role to solve the problem. They also should accept others' opinion from junior, especially because like Mr. Bong said, that junior has more ideas about new technology because they are fresh. Lastly, break down the barrier between gender. Like Mr. Azman said, because there is only one woman in the meeting room in the organization, so this not should occur because we should have the equality between men and women. Okay, so that's all from us, our opinion. Okay, thank you.